It's Nolan.
We gotta get this dub, and it starts with us.
He's got it at the 10. Did he keep his poses? Yes, he did. Touchdown Raiders.
How about those?
And the Chiefs win it at the buzzer. Together we strong, baby. 10, 5, strides in, touchdown. The Seahawks win the game in overtime. Caught at the 50. He's trying to outrun the Niners. A 97-yard touchdown.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody is doing well on this Sunday evening. I know I am. That clip that I just showed y'all on the intro, that was from this morning. Just got a new TV placement on Channel 5 in the UK. So for all my international folks, all my UK folks, Channel 5, they played my song Here to Play with my guy Marcus. And that was on a show called NFL End Zone, which is basically every Sunday they come on and they do a recap of the previous week. And you know how it is, just like on ESPN or other channels, they have those sports shows where they talk about this coming week. They give y'all what happened last week in the game and so on and so forth. So that placement just happened earlier this morning out in the UK. Shout out to everybody out there. Much appreciated. And just for everybody out there that's like, yo, what have you done in music, nigga? Da, 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 da. Hey, man, one thing you can't say is I ain't done shit. I might not be on the same level as some of your faves, and I will never act like I am, but I've accomplished a lot. All right? But anyway, that's not what the show is about. What we are going to be talking about today is Latto's Brokey Challenge. Once again, as I predicted the other day, somebody got their ass fired. Now, I'm not reveling in anybody's failure, not laughing at anybody's departure from work, because we are living in a very rough financial time, economic time, and shit is getting a little bit rough out here for a lot of people. But I told y'all to be very careful about how y'all handle this, and y'all not handling this correctly. You feel me? So you gotta have some sort of risk versus reward. Hopefully you get chosen to be in the video and get the 10K off of this, but I think that you got some stiff competition out there that might outdo you. But we're going to talk about this young lady that got fired from Waffle House, no less. We're going to be getting into Eve and her new interview and her new book that's out. We're not going to get into the whole thing about the book, but she did an interview a few days ago where she spoke. I think there was an excerpt from the book used in the interview or the article about when her first album and then there was Eve came out. She received a call from Jay-Z, and basically he told her, you know, congratulations, but don't get your hopes up too high because female rappers ain't really selling like that. You know what I'm saying? So basically he was trying to let her know, like, hey, it's great that you got your album out, but if it doesn't really sell, don't feel bad because nobody's really going crazy like that. Now, to his embarrassment, perhaps, or just to him being wrong, that album actually went on to be a pretty big success. So there you have that. In that interview, or in the book, I should say, let me clarify that. She also spoke about her experience in working with Nicki Minaj on Barbershop 3. And how she expected to not like her, but they ended up getting along well. She thought she was going to envy her, but she saw the work ethic that Nicki had. This was 2015 when they shot the movie. And, you know, she gained a bit of respect and a little bit of, I guess, sorrow by seeing how hard she was working herself and kind of looking like, damn, I'm glad I'm not in that place no more. We're going to get into all of those things. And we also have new Drake texts leaking out. Between himself and ex-girlfriend Johnny Blaze, the same woman who claimed that you know, she alleged that she had a child by him or whatever, and he made her get, you know, abort the mission and all that stuff. Apparently she's been reaching out to him in recent times, and he let her down easy. And in the midst of him letting her down easy, He sent her a text basically stating that he is in slave to Live Nation mode. So this is causing a little bit of a stir online because people have already been speculating about Drake and his relationship with Live Nation and his record deal as to why he toured so much with that It's All a Blur tour, why there was so much going on, why he had so many shows, why he continued it coming into 2024, that whole thing. So we're going to talk about that briefly as well. We're not going to be here too long, but I wanted to go ahead and just do a let's talk because I don't feel like any of these particular subjects deserve their own segment or video. You feel me? So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Once again, Latto's Brokey Challenge is going viral. A lot of people are partaking in it. She came out and said, hey, I don't want anybody thinking that I'm joking or downplaying working class people that have regular jobs. So to show y'all that I fuck with y'all, I'm putting 10K on the line, and you're gonna be able to get into my music video for the winner if y'all just make whoever makes the best video including her song Brokey. Earlier today I saw that she was still looking for her favorite entries, so she has not selected a winner just yet, but somebody who did lost a job is a young lady, I believe. I don't know if she's from Atlanta or not, but she was a Waffle House employee. Some people are saying that she was a manager. I don't know that to be true, but if that's the narrative, we'll just go with that. And I cannot play the song, of course, because it's copyrighted, but I can show y'all the challenge that they did, in the corner or whatever, just so y'all can see what's going on at Waffle House. That's not how that was supposed to go. My bad, y'all. Give me a second. What the phone? So, boom. So I'm just going to put it over here so you can see what these folks are doing in the location. Right? All the employees are taking part in it. This is her. They say she was the manager on duty, perhaps, because I don't know what that bandana around the neck signifies. But yeah. So that's that, and of course you can't hear the song. But she got everybody in on it. Now you can see in the back there is at least one table occupied with customers, but they were having fun. It wasn't all that big of a deal until it became a big deal. Okay, so now I'm going to play the young lady's video talking about this. And I believe she was the only one actually fired. None of the other employees were let go. So here we are.
But I just got fired because of that video of Big Latto's challenge. Yay. I'm glad I put 6 years in a company that would fire me in literally a day of posting one video that harmed nobody, that everybody was actually literally rooting for and happy about, but whatever, smart decision, smart move, And then they put me on, it's called like an EFR list or something. Basically, I could never get rehired again. They will never rehire me again. Okay, thanks. 16 to 22, thanks. All the bullshit I dealt with, thanks.
All right, so that's her. All right. She says that she worked there for 6 years from the age of 16 to 22. So she's been there for quite some time, worked her way up the ranks, very familiar with the staff up there, probably seen a lot of highs and lows. I mean, Waffle House ain't the most glorious place to be working at, and I'm not saying that in a joking manner. I'm just saying it's a lot of shit that be going down at motherfucking Waffle House, man. Them niggas be open at all types of hours. Motherfuckers come in after the club, niggas be too lit. We seen plenty of people get their ass knocked out fucking around at Waffle House. Like, shit gets real in there. It's not made for the weak. And that is one of the reasons why there's so much chatter going on about this, because she got fired for doing this challenge, but other employees in other Waffle Houses are known to knock niggas out, to fight, to defend, to protect this house, and clock their ass right back in for work and get right back on the skillet and prepare a nigga eggs, bacon, and waffles. So people are looking at this like, damn, this was the offense for somebody to get fired when these niggas can actually put hands, feet, elbows, and everything on motherfucking people with no consequences? Damn. Y'all must be trying to change your image. I don't know. I don't know if they heard about what's going on at the Turkey Leg Hut with their ass getting shut down for 35 violations out there in Texas or what. But the young lady was let go. I'm hoping that she could find, other employment soon. Equal employment if she was indeed a manager up there. But I think that might be contributing as to why you were let go. In a managerial position, you are supposed to be the leader on duty. Again, we're talking about Waffle House, but I don't want to go too hard on that because I don't want to disparage Waffle House workers in the midst of what I'm saying. But I think they expected you to be a leader, right? I don't think they expect you to be the one galvanizing people together to do a TikTok challenge. Perhaps if one of your, I don't want to say subjects, because that ain't how it works, but one of your, folks on shift in a lesser position, if they were to do it, I think it might have been a little different. They probably would have come to you, if they gave a fuck, would have came to you and said, hey, are you aware of people doing TikToks during your shift? Like, what are we doing? I don't know. I can't say, man, because they be letting Drewski into all these establishments. Drewski be doing goddamn skits. And it don't be seeming like it's all the way properly commissioned when Drewski be pulling up and doing shit. So I don't know, man. I do believe somebody else, a friend, well, I won't call him a friend, but somebody else I know did a music video, I believe, at Waffle House and got his ass fired too. So I don't know. Maybe they're getting a little bit more strict up there. It is a place of business. It is a place where you're getting paid to go clock in and do your job. But again, the way people view that particular job from the outside looking in, they like, man, y'all need employees anyway. Y'all ain't paying them niggas shit. So you might as well let them try to get their hands on 10. Hopefully Latto sees this, and even if she don't have the best video, because it wasn't all that impressive to begin with, hopefully Latto gives her, a call or something. Say, hey man, I feel bad. Come to the video shoot. Even if you don't get the 10K, show up for the video shoot, and maybe we'll work something out on the back end. I don't know. Or maybe Latto just gonna hit your ass with a job application. Maybe she could get you to work as an assistant or something. Like, shit, you know how to manage things? Go do my food runs when I'm working on my next album. Shit, fuck it. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think of that, though. You know what I'm saying? I swear, I told people about a week ago, be careful with this shit. We ain't seen nobody in corporate get fired yet. But I told y'all motherfuckers to be very astute in how you want to approach this shit. You might want to go on break and go do your challenge in your uniform. You might not want to do it, because some of these places, whether they always enforce it or not, when you read the handbook, I used to work in fast food. When you read the handbook, they really tell you not to have no cell phone out. You can't really record shit. You're not supposed to film yourself on the job. You're not supposed to film intimate details of what's going on in the workplace. But again, it's not always enforced. We see a lot of people out here that are doing TikToks on the job. We see a lot of people that are doing content while they on the job. A lot of people are exposing themselves on the job. Some people are filming themselves doing fucking heinous things behind the scenes. Some people are filming that these motherfuckers be having roaches, rats, and the whole, infestation going viral. So it's the luck of the draw. You feel me? Luck of the draw. I guess it's up to your team of supervisors, your GM, your regional, and however it gets escalated, best wishes to you. Hopefully you could get something else. Hopefully your life elevates in another direction to where you won't have to go through this predicament again. That's what I have for you, young lady. We're going to keep the show moving though. Okay. Again, we've got Eve speaking on her industry experience. She has a new book out. What is the name of Eve's new book? Oh, of course. It's called Who's That Girl, named after one of her biggest records. So it's a memoir, you know, going through her life and times, career, all that good stuff. She went viral because an excerpt from the book came out last week, a few days ago. And again, they were talking about this quote from Jay-Z. Okay? And again, her debut album dropped. He congratulated her. But again, he said, don't get too hyped up, because female rap don't really sell like that. So if it don't go the way you think, it's okay. A lot of people got angry. A lot of folks wanted to join in on the hate train of Rock Nation and Jay. And I ain't gonna lie, when I saw the quote, I said, that doesn't read too well. You know what I'm saying? Not only because you're basically congratulating somebody and giving them kind of a, a slight at the end of the congratulations, which nobody wants. Nobody wants to receive. Nobody wants to hear. Definitely nobody wants to have their parade rained on like that. So I would say Jay-Z was a little fucked up for that. I'm not I guess you could say I'm a Hovenger, but I call it like I see it with all things. That wasn't it. And a lot of people came to Eve's defense to say, oh, this nigga's fucked up. Not only did that happen, but also on her debut album, she has a record. Was it Got a Man? I got enough, but I'm gonna got an and I think I'm gonna think and forever we'll be together. No matter where we go, I'll be thinking You gotta do the when you play that motherfucker. Apparently Jay-Z really liked that record. That's Mashonda singing in the background on there. And he liked it so much that he went to Swiss Beats and he went and made a record kind of similar to it. He went and made Girl's Best Friend for the Blue Streak soundtrack. If y'all remember that time period, a lot of y'all are too young, maybe weren't born when these records came out. This is 1999 we're talking about. But he went and made a similar record, and it also had Mashonda's vocals on the hook because he liked the whole composition of everything. And if y'all remember that record, is come here, baby, don't want nobody but you, baby, yeah, where my ladies at? You know what I'm saying? Again, go look it up if you don't know it. So basically, she said that he went and kind of made his own version of that song, and he released it before hers. So there seems to have been some level of competition between Rockefeller and Rough Riders that we know. Of course, Jay and DMX, they had a rocky relationship, a competitive relationship, but it seems like it went down to the label. And of course, Swiss was producing for both camps at that time. And Swiss was young. He was like 17, 18. So I don't think he really understood the full dynamic. He was just really getting his feet wet and producing and, getting his credits up, getting his money up, trying to do his shit. Right? So, but Eve said, hey, he dropped his first. Mine came out maybe a month later. But my shit actually shot to the top of the charts. My shit outdid his. So it's all good. And for some people, you might say, okay, well, basically that tells me how the type of the games that Jay-Z be playing, which I'm sure he do be playing some games. The nigga not perfect. And I'm not going to excuse that shit neither. Because why? Why latch yourself to an idea and then try to beat them to the punch? I don't think that's cool. That's exactly what people are saying that the issue with Beyonce and Drake is right now, right? They're saying that he helped contribute to the Renaissance album. And then a month before the Renaissance album actually dropped, he came with his mid-ass Honestly Nevermind house album that nobody gave two shits about. Only, you know what I'm saying? Only had about 2 songs that people gave a fuck about. But they're saying that there seems to be some animus between Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Drake because of that. Now, Drake says, hey, she had 5 years to release that album. Shit, fuck it. I did my due. I thought the 5 year album was Cowboy Carter, but you know, I don't know the inside details, and I'm not gonna purport myself to know, because these are upper echelon of people, and I'm just a common nigga with a little knowledge about a little something. You feel me? I don't know how these niggas be getting down, but I will say that game is a very sticky game where you start playing like, hey, I like that record you got there. Then you turn around and go make something just like it. You get the same exact producer. It has a very similar vibe. You even get the same vocalist on it. Yeah, that's some shady shit, right? However, once people jumped on Jay-Z's head, Eve came out and decided to clear up the controversy, okay? So we're going to go ahead and play audio of Eve clearing up the controversy, because she was not trying to make an enemy of Jay-Z or make him out to be a fuck nigga, which, you know, the public ended up kind of gravitating toward, and rightfully so. So here's what Eve had to say on Hot 97 with Ebro and Rosenberger.
You know, a lot has been made. Obviously, the book came out. I'm seeing headlines. You know, Jay-Z called Eve, which you talk about in the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
And the way it's framed is if almost like Jay-Z was discouraging you.
No,
or
it's not
whatever.
Framed like that. Please don't say that.
Not in the book. Not in the book. And that's where I was trying to go.
Okay, thank you.
The headlines are framing it like Jay was discouraging you or hating or something like that. But clearly in the book, you're like, no, it was a challenge.
Thank you so much. Yes. I was please, Les, please. Because I'm like, what the... But I also know, obviously it's Jay. I knew somebody was going to try that completely. If you read the chapter, it is so not like that. No. And I didn't think in that moment that man was trying to discourage me.
He was letting you know what the challenges were.
What the situation was, what the reality was, what the challenges were at that time in history, 100%. And for me, I took it as, okay, I hear you, but also, let me see.
Right.
For me. What it did for me. So I'm so happy you said that. Thank you.
Well, because I saw the headline.
Yeah.
And was like,
I got a phone call.
Right. And then I read the book and was like, yeah, that's not how this is worded at all.
And I wanted to make sure I was like, nah, man, when I'm out here talking about it, like Jay has always been the biggest supporter of who he supports. Like, you know, so yeah, it was nothing like that. And it's such a small piece of a chapter.
No, it's one line. It's one sentence, I think.
It's one sentence?
It's one sentence.
Oh my God, thank you.
And people can't even spend the time to read the one sentence?
Well, no, I think they're using it as clickbait.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
It's a thing that you can flip.
100%.
Well, but in there...
All right. So that's the portion of that interview where Eve was talking to them about this situation, and she came and did a little bit of, you know, damage control to say, hey, it wasn't really meant like that. I was just kind of setting the scene of, you know, that's what the expectation was, that I wasn't really going to pop off like that. But, I mean, she had momentum for sure. She had, you know, she showed up on The Roots You Got Me, which was a cult classic, underground classic. Did really well on MTV, not MTV, but BET. She had, you know, the Rough Riders Anthem remix with DMX. She had, like, really standout performances that put her on the map. But it was a toss-up. I mean, we're talking about the ladies in hip-hop in the 90s. There was success, but the levels of success were not yet matching with the men, just like, you know, on a common everyday level, right? The Brat was the first female rapper to go platinum. That was a big achievement that happened in 94, just a few years before, you know, Eve came out. Lauryn Hill, I think she was the first female rapper to go diamond, you know, with the Miseducation. But it wasn't just like going crazy. I think even Foxy and Kim, they were mostly going gold. And that was like an achievement, you know what I mean? And gold is always an achievement. Shit, you get a plaque for it. It gets acknowledged. The RIAA has to come out and speak to that. So that's always an achievement. But that was kind of like what was being aspired to. Like, if you could go gold, you was really out of here. It was kind of treated like, shit, you damn near platinum as a lady. Today, we're seeing women are dominating the game. And I think some people, and not all, but I think some people have the lenses of today's current marketplace in female rap and can look back at that time period like it was just like they were dominating then, they weren't. You know what I'm saying? It was tough for women to get signed. There were barriers, a lot of barriers for women to get signed. Some that are still present today, a lot that are still present today when it comes to, you know, some of the, hazing for lack of a better term, or just outright disrespect, outright sexual propositions in order to get where you want to go. Nobody wants to receive that shit. But just think about how prevalent that was back then when there were no consequences for it. Look at what type of life we're finally getting revealed about Diddy and some of his counterparts and people that were doing similar practices in other parts of entertainment. So, yeah, there was a little bit of pressure, and there were other great female rappers like Lady Rage and Bahamadia and Charlie Baltimore, who was also from Philly, right? It was just a lot. And they weren't really doing all that well. Hell, a few months ago, I said Emil's album never dropped. It actually did, but it sold like 23,000 copies. And we're talking about in 1999 or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? This is at the height of record sales in the business. She sold like 20,000 copies the first week, which damn near translated to 20 copies. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to make fun of her, but I didn't know that album ever dropped. So it was an uphill battle. And I don't think they were really looking at her like she was finna overstep some of the other ladies that were already out for a little bit. You know, you had Vita, never really got where she was supposed to go. It's so many. Lady Luck. Fuck, man. Like, if I really just went through the whole list, it's a who's who of where are they today. But Eve caught that wave, and Hove had to eat his words, ultimately. Now, elsewhere in the book, as I stated before, she also spoke on doing Barbershop 3, which also included herself and Nicki Minaj in the same film. And she talks about the experience going into it, her expectations, and how Nicki actually was totally different, and the experience was totally different, than what she imagined. So she says here, I've lived through what happens when women project their own insecurities onto other women. It happened at the start of my career and continued in waves as my fame grew. Now, we do know Eve and Foxy Brown were not always seeing eye to eye. They had a time period where they was beefing as well. She says, I wasn't going to be that woman to someone else, but in order to do that, I had to physically and mentally prepare myself. Nicki and I were actually fine on set. We got along well and shot our scenes together with no problems. It was nothing like what I had expected, but again, I am thankful that I prepared myself for it. So at that time, 2015, 2014, whenever they started shooting this film, she had her defense mechanisms up, expecting the worst. You know, Nicki was at the top of the game. Eve had been out of the market for a bit. And a lot of the other ladies that were in the market, it was kind of like dead zone for a lot of them, right? So with Nicki being the one on top, she definitely could have flexed, her power, her prowess. It's kind of like how she does these days, but she didn't do it towards Eve, right? Furthermore, she says, I'd see her writing songs on her bus in between takes, hurrying off set to go hit some show dates over the weekend and then come right back on set for these 12 to 16-hour shoots, all while trying to hold together her personal life and her relationship. So she says, in the midst of her shooting scenes for Barbershop, doing 12 to 16-hour shoots, she was also on the bus writing new music, making sure that her album and stuff were getting completed, and still trying to maintain some level of balance in her personal life and relationship. And I do believe at that time, what was she with, Meek Mill? She says, it was at that moment that I didn't envy her, and I kind of wanted to give her a hug. I thought I was going to resent her, and really all I felt was compassion. I remembered being that person, the girl who felt like she had to do it all, the girl who was pressured to do it all because it was all eyes on her. Instead of feeling insecure around Nicki, I started to sympathize with her. So this is somebody who at least has an account of positivity with Nicki Minaj, and we talk about her over here. Some people feel like I speak on her too much. I feel like if you're not in the news, there won't be nothing to report. But this is at least a good account from another lady, another veteran in the game. She hasn't always been nice to the vets. And I don't think all of the vets have always liked her. You know what I mean? They don't always acknowledge her. They don't always put her in the same categories with some of those vets, right? But at least we have Eve to say, hey, when we were working on this film, everything was going on. It was chill. It was cool. You know, no funny shit. So we can at least have that on the table as well. Give her some positive credit in the midst of all of the craziness that entails in her career. Okay? And finally, we've got Mr. Drake. Now, as I stated at the top of the show, Drake is going viral once again because some of his texts between himself and ex-girlfriend Johnny Blaze have been aired out online, and Miss Johnny Blaze is claiming she's not the one that actually put it out. She has a friend, or former friend rather. They've been going back and forth exposing things about each other for the past few days, which I won't go deeply into because I don't feel like going and finding out all the bullshit. But basically, they've been airing each other out. They've been threatening to fight each other. I think they've pulled up to each other's homes or had somebody within their camp pull up to each other's homes to invite for some fisticuffs, but the fisties never got cuffed, all right? Nonetheless, there's this leaked text where it seems that Johnny was trying to reconvene with Drake, spend some time with him, and he let her down quite easily. Okay, there's a recording of Drake letting her down. We'll go ahead and play that, and then we're going to get to the next piece of the puzzle. Unfortunately, we don't have her response. There is a 5-minute response from her, but we have what he had to say.
I feel good in my heart watching you text me and then like knowing that I'm seeing it sometimes, not all the time, I mean, but sometimes I'm seeing it and I'm like, damn, I don't know what to say to her, like, because I just don't know where to start again, really, with this situation. Like, I really don't. I don't know where to start. I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be honest. I wouldn't be being honest with you if I didn't say that, like, oh, if I told you, yo, let's go for dinner, or I'm at the Posto, come kick it, that I wouldn't be nervous. I'm just nervous. And I'm not saying it to make you feel bad. It's just kind of a result of your actions, you know, in the past, no matter how long ago it was, it just makes me nervous. I just don't know what's going to happen to me as a result of like getting close to you again. So yeah, I hope you can take this as like me this is something I just want to be kind enough to tell you, like, if you just kind of if you want to take that moment that we had and just be like, oh, I brought peace and resolution to a situation that was bothering me. I have no ill feelings towards you.
Okay. So that's Drake basically stating, you know, hey, I don't want to get involved with you. That's the simplest way you can put it. I don't want to be involved with you again. What we had in the past was cool, but based on the fact that you tried to expose personal details about our intimacy and the results of said intimacy and all of those different things, I am not comfortable backtracking, and, you know, I will be lying to tell you that I am, right? Which I feel is actually not bad. I saw some people out here saying Drake is getting exposed. I'm like, what got exposed? The nigga said, I don't want to, I don't want to go hang with you. I don't want to be around you. it seems that he would be open to it, but he doesn't trust where it would go. You know what I'm saying? That she wouldn't try to expose him in some way again, right? So there's that. But the other piece of this conversation that's going viral is she responds to him letting her down. And there's a 5-minute message that we don't have access to. And he responds to her. He says, I respect this a lot. I hear you loud and clear. I want to hang. So he then gives her some hope. But then he says, right now my life is on slave to Live Nation mode. So please don't take it personal. I just got 7 shows left. Gotta finish strong and then go home. Right? There's some more to it, but the rest of that has not been put in front of the front street. All right. So he said he had 7 more shows left and he was out slaving for Live Nation, right? Which I found to be an interesting thing to say. Because all he had to really say was, I just got to finish up tour. But slave to Live Nation mode, people are saying, we got him. That's why he was touring. He got a slave deal, which I don't necessarily believe. There's a rumor going that he may have made somewhere in the upwards of 250 mil off the tour. I don't know that to be true. But I have heard that Live Nation does give artists a big advance. And we talked about this earlier with John Bellion, who's a big artist, not nearly as big as Drake, but a big enough artist that came out and exposed that Live Nation gave him $1 million advance to go on tour. And in order for him to eventually pay that $1 million back through touring, not through, his actual take home money, but through the actual sales of the tour, he would have had to tour 11 months out the year for the next 3 years just to pay that $1 million back. Right? Now, I don't know what Drake received for his tour, but I would assume it was very much a substantial difference between himself and John Bellion. Let's just say that. So if he got $1 million up front, I could see Drake getting damn near 25, 30 million. You know what I'm saying? To go do the tour. And remember, the It's All a Blur tour. Let's just go through this as accurately as possible. Via Wikipedia, It's All a Blur tour was the 5th co-headlining concert tour by Canadian rapper Drake to support his collaborative album with Atlanta-based rapper 21 Savage, Her Lost from 2022, and his 8th studio album For All the Dogs 2023. The tour commenced July 5th, 2023 in Chicago. Its first leg concluded on October 7th in Toronto. Its second leg began on February 2nd, 2024 and concluded on April 4th in Newark, New Jersey. It was Drake's first North American tour in 5 years, and it consisted of 80 shows, right? But it was the fact that the tour began in 2023, mid-2023, and continued up until April of this year. And as we know, just a few days after that tour concluded, he found himself embroiled in battle with Kendrick Lamar. I'm sure he wished he would have just taken that vacation. Okay? A lot of things could have been saved had he stayed on vacation, right? I don't think he would have been outed with that PDF stuff, and I'm not saying that he is, but now that it's a permanent stain on his jacket because somebody of such a high caliber as Kendrick Lamar said it. So now it's sticking, right? Not to mention all of the back and forth, the debates, the lyrical gymnastics, the fan wars, He's trying to put out 100 gigs worth of work and trying to, kind of redeem his status, try to put out music to try to move forward. And people are just not ready to move forward, right? And now there's a different level of criticism that's coming towards his work that wasn't present before the battle. Everything that he puts out is looked upon with a microscope, and people are not willing to accept some of what he was dropping prior to this, right? He was giving out mid, you know what I'm saying? And then he would come back. I mean, let's just be honest. And there's some people out there that don't like when I talk like this. For All the Dogs was mid. It was widely said that it was mid. This is not revisionist history. It was so mid that he came out and released it, the Scary Hours version, which was him rapping, right? Because he didn't do a lot of great rapping on the original version. So he went in the studio or went in his archives and dropped a new version with like 10 joints of him just barring up, right? And that version didn't do well commercially, but it did do well in creating some level of grace between himself and the people that wanted to hear Drake really rap, get lyrical. You know what I'm saying? Feed the hip hop base. So I was like, all right, cool. I guess we can forgive that other version of the album. But now people are not so eager to just be like, this is cool. They like, yo, man, you got such a vast catalog. We've heard you do everything. Everything you're making now, we've already heard it before. We need something new. And I think that's a fair ask. You know what I'm saying? Just like Jay-Z grew with his music. A lot of people wanted to hear him just keep talking about cocaine and selling dope, and he makes references to it. Even with like 444, there was a lot of people out there that say, hey, I don't like that album. I don't like him getting personal. I don't like him talking about his family life, talking about his wife, talking about this, talking about that. We want high level designer, rich braggadocious Jay-Z. We want more hits. But on that album, he said, kill Jay-Z. You got to kill this boisterous, stunting, flashy nigga. Like, it's time to mature. It's time to grow up. That's what people seem to want from Drake, and I don't think it's going to be received well, even if he does, from the masses. But I think there's going to be a select group of people, probably myself included, that will appreciate when he decides he wants to mature and actually make age-appropriate music. But that's the crux, right? Do you want to try to fit in with the kids forever, or do you want to grow up? There's a price that comes on either side. What did Cole say with KOD? Choose wisely. It's tough. Heavy is the head, though, right? So let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. And, enjoy your evening, man. That's all I really got for y'all. I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like Soldier Rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.